The 1960s marked a period of profound transformation in American society. Lyndon B. Johnson took office after the tragic assassination of John F. Kennedy. Johnson envisioned a nation where opportunity flourished for all citizens. He called this vision the Great Society. The Great Society aimed to eradicate poverty and uplift all Americans. Johnson believed every citizen deserved a chance to succeed. The civil rights movement demanded an end to segregation and discrimination. Johnson saw the Great Society as a way to address these issues. The Great Society was rooted in creating a more just and equitable society. Johnson believed government could empower individuals and expand opportunities. He envisioned a nation with access to quality education, healthcare, and housing. The Great Society was a radical departure from the prevailing political philosophy. It embraced a more active role for the federal government. Johnson's vision was met with both enthusiasm and skepticism. Supporters saw it as a long overdue effort to create a more just society. Critics feared government overreach and questioned the effectiveness of such ambitious programs. The Great Society did not emerge in a vacuum. It was deeply rooted in the social and economic realities of the 1960s. Despite the post-World War II economic boom, millions of Americans remained trapped in poverty. The civil rights movement played a pivotal role in shaping the Great Society. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s message of equality resonated deeply with President Johnson. The Great Society emphasized equal opportunity and social justice. The civil rights movement achieved significant victories, but the struggle for equality was far from over. The heart of the Great Society lay in its ambitious legislative agenda. President Johnson, a master legislator, used his considerable political skills to push through a wave of landmark laws and programs. These initiatives touched upon virtually every aspect of American life, from education and healthcare to housing and the environment. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 outlawed discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. This landmark legislation was a major victory for the civil rights movement and helped dismantle segregation in schools, workplaces, and public accommodations. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 followed, ensuring that all citizens had the right to vote regardless of their race. Recognizing the importance of healthcare, Johnson signed Medicare and Medicaid into law in 1965. Medicare provided health insurance to Americans aged 65 and older, while Medicaid offered healthcare coverage to low-income individuals and families. These programs have since become cornerstones of the American healthcare system, providing vital services to millions. Education was another key pillar of the Great Society. The Elementary and Secondary Education Act of 1965 poured billions of dollars into public schools, with a particular focus on disadvantaged students. The Higher Education Act of 1965 made college more affordable for millions of Americans by expanding student aid programs. Section 4, A Promise Yet Unfulfilled, the African American Experience. The Great Society held particular promise for African Americans who had long been denied equal opportunities. Johnson believed that by addressing the root causes of poverty and inequality, the Great Society could help close the racial gap in America. While the Great Society did lead to some significant gains for African Americans, it also exposed the deep-seated nature of racial injustice. The Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act were watershed moments in the fight for racial equality. These laws helped dismantle legal segregation and empowered African Americans to exercise their right to vote. However, legal equality did not automatically translate into economic or social equality. Despite the progress made on the legal front, African Americans continued to face discrimination in housing, employment, and education. De facto segregation persisted in many communities, perpetuating racial disparities in income, health, and education. The Great Society's programs, while well-intentioned, often failed to fully address the systemic barriers that continued to hold African Americans back. Grassroots organizations played a vital role in advocating for the needs of African American communities. These organizations worked tirelessly to combat poverty, provide job training, and empower residents. Their efforts demonstrated the power of community-based solutions in complementing and sometimes challenging government initiatives. Section 5, A Nation Divided, the Vietnam War and Domestic Challenges. The Vietnam War cast a long shadow over Johnson's presidency. Initially small, the conflict escalated rapidly, consuming resources and dividing the nation. The war's unpopularity and budget drain challenged the Great Society. Johnson faced tough choices about resource allocation. Funding for Great Society programs was diverted to military spending. Critics argued the war undermined Johnson's domestic agenda. The war fueled social and political divisions, complicating consensus for social programs. Despite challenges, Johnson remained committed to the Great Society. He believed America could fight for freedom abroad and address injustice at home. The war's costs and divisive impact made sustaining support for the Great Society difficult. The Vietnam War's legacy continues to shape debates about the Great Society. Some argue the war fatally undermined Johnson's domestic agenda. Others contend the Great Society's achievements demonstrate the enduring power of government action.